What's up, guys? Welcome back to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess, and today's video is about how to make a keto meal plan. So, two things: hit that subscribe button down below, turn on those notifications, and give me 2 thumbs up so you don't miss any videos. And the second thing is, this video is intended for information purposes only. Please do your own research to decide if keto is right for you. Okay, let's get started. So right here, I have a meal plan for my week. Now, this video is going to be in 2 parts. The first one is I'm going to discuss kind of like the thought process going through here, and part 2 will be a screen grab of me doing this in Carb Manager, so you can actually see how I'm doing it. So stay tuned. Don't skip off. Go towards the end and make sure you don't miss that part of the video. Okay, so let's get started. So I like Carb Manager. The main reason is Carb Manager is a great food diary for ketoers. It's geared more towards low carb versus like myfitnesspal. You can still do this in myfitnesspal, but you have to manipulate the numbers and make it more carb friendly because it's based off of the traditional American diet. So I've been using Carb Manager probably consistently for the last 3 months, but when I started my journey, I used myfitnesspal. But Carb Manager has just had so many cool features that make my life easier, so I switched over and I'm now, and if you want to read any of my diary, my Carb Manager username is, I think it's @Keto Rewind, 2 words. So feel free to send, I'll put it right here, whatever my username is. But anyway, so when I make a meal plan, it's a really cool feature within Carb Manager. You can literally plan your meal for the week, have all your food logged and ready to go, and all the work's done for you. So like on a Sunday, I will sit down, and granted, you can do the same thing with pen and paper. You don't need fancy technology. This just makes my life easier. So you can pick which way is easiest for you. But the main thing is log your food. But you don't have to actually do the meal plan within Carb Manager. You can use a pen and paper. For the first couple of months of my journey, I did just scribble it down with pen and paper. But now this just saves me time. So like on Sundays when I plan my menu for the week, I will plan it all out. Then I'll have it also gives the option to print your shopping list. And then I know what to buy at the store. My food is already logged, so I know how much, like, oh, what was I having for dinner tonight? Oh, that was Keto Connect's butter chicken, and I'm gonna have 1.5 servings, you know, or I need to buy cucumbers this week because that's my snack this week. I have cucumbers lined up, you know, or I can say, how much cream cheese will I allow to my bagel? Oh, okay, I can have 2 tablespoons. So if you don't know this ahead of time, you'll just have to figure it out as you go. But this just saves so much time, and I'm so busy that this just really made my life easy when I discovered this. And for the record, I'm not endorsed, paid, I have no affiliation at all with Carb Manager. I just want to share it because this is how my brain works, and that's how I've lost so much weight. So people compare me to themselves where they say, I've been on keto for a year and I've lost 30 pounds. How did you lose 70 pounds in only 6 months? Well, I'm literally planning every single thing that goes in my mouth. I am logging every single thing that goes into my mouth. I am not, I'm focused, and if I see, I'm a visual person, so if I'm converting my type B person into a type A that's a planner, that makes lists, that, you know, that's organized. I'm trying so hard to be a type A, but it has been what works and what has been the difference and why I've lost weight, because planning is key. If you're not planning and you're not prepared, doing this keto lifestyle in a carbohydrate world is really hard. So make sure, with the abundance of carbs and sugar and all that around, that you are planning and preparing. So anyways, let's get to the gist of it. I will go over one of my meals, for instance. So tomorrow, what I have on my menu is I practice 16-8 intermittent fasting. So I don't have breakfast, and I read that collagen does break your fast, so I don't have my collagen in my coffee until noon. I'll have just like a first cup of coffee in the morning, just plain, and then at noon when I get my second cup, I put my collagen in that one. So make sure you're not putting your collagen in your coffee if you are trying to fast. So the next thing is, I have planned for tomorrow my keto bagels, which you haven't tried yet. Click this recipe. They are a game changer. Breakfast sandwiches, bagels, all kinds of options. So totally check that out. And you can make your own spices, put like cinnamon and erythritol or cinnamon and monk fruit and, swirl that in there. There's so many great ways, but I know I get really excited. But for information, this is just the plain bagel on what I have on the menu this week. So I have one bagel with 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. Now for dinner, I'm having Keto Connects butter chicken. That one is really easy. I'll show you in the end of this video how easy it is to enter that in. And then I also have it with a side of asparagus, and on that asparagus, since I roasted it, I have a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. My snack for tomorrow is cucumbers, salted cucumbers, and then I also have a snack of roasted pecans. My favorite, another great recipe if you want to make your own like me. So with all of that tomorrow, my net carbs are going to be 17 net carbs. That's my day. So 17 of my 18 net carbs, 98 of my 112 grams of fat, 73 of my 89 grams of protein, and 1,303 out of my 1,414 allotted calories. So what does that all mean? Well, when you put together a menu, you want to keep these goals in mind. When you're adding your menu together, you don't want hamburger with bacon plus, and then you have it with a steak later that day. Like if your lunch is a hamburger with bacon, you don't want a steak that same day, because that's too much fat. Too much fat does slow the weight loss progress down. It does not kick you out of ketosis. It just is very calorie dense, and it will slow your fat down. Slow your weight loss down. So if you have beef, I would limit, I like to have beef maybe once or twice a week. I don't have beef multiple times a day or every day. I do hamburgers, steaks, what else is beef? Taco stuff, but I'll use turkey or chicken sometimes instead of always using ground beef. So I'm limiting myself to 1 to 2 times a week for red meat. I do have Canadian bacon a lot, which is kind of been like my little secret, because Canadian bacon has high protein but low fat. It's a lean meat. So instead of doing regular bacon, I do lots of Canadian bacon. So it keeps my macros in check, and it's just one of the little tricks that I've learned along the way. I do love regular bacon though, don't get me wrong, but I only have it like once a week. I don't have bacon every day because it's calorie dense, and to stay within my calorie goals, you've got to plan ahead and know if you can have that excess fat in your day. I never try to hit my fat goal. I always am well under it. And for example, this day I'm going to have 98 grams of fat, but my macros tell me I can have 112 grams of fat. So I like having that cushion. It helps the scale move. But I do always try to hit my protein and stay under my carb goal. Those are 3 big ones to track, but that's my methodology of my thought process. And with all that being said, my calories I don't really pay attention to, because they're normally, if you follow those rules, they're usually under your allotted calories for the day anyways. So here is a video showing how I put together a meal plan, and let me know what you think. Okay, so here we are in Carb Manager. I find that it's easiest to plan your meals on a computer than using my phone. But there's also perks to using the phones, because you can scan the barcode right in. So pick whatever way is easiest, but I wanted to give you a starting point of basically you've calculated your macros, now what? So that's where we're at right here. So I've already calculated my macros. If you need a video, the link is below, but this video is going to show you how to log your like to meal plan essentially. So you can come up with your own meal planner and see the impact it does to your macros. So it's going to be kind of long, so I'm sorry. But one quick and easy way to show you the features of Carb Manager is you don't want to have too much fat in one day. You want like a nice balance of fats, proteins, and carbs. So you, with all those goals in mind that I previously talked about, this is why that's my thinking of, where I'm adding the foods together to create this meal plan. So the cool features about it is this is the calendar. I can plan like next week. I can go so far as adding actually logging the whole week so that it's done for you. You can do it all the logging in one day. Say you have time on a Sunday afternoon, you can do it all then. And then once you have your meal plan, you come down here and you print it. So let's give you a quick peek. So like this is this week for me. I actually wrote it in pen and paper this week because I know how this all works now. But for somebody like you that might not have all this figured out yet, you can do this and then all this gets printed and you can slap it on your fridge and you know exactly what you're having, how much you're having. So you can see where I've logged my food. But anyways, this then becomes a printable list. So this is your meal plan once you have it all logged and figured out. And remember, planning is key. So once you have everything logged in, you can print the weekly calendar, which is the screen I was just on. And then you can even go so far as print the shopping list for the items in your meal plan. So there's a couple of ways to log it. And my thing is I like to make sure that I'm hitting my carb, protein, and fat goals. I never, ever, ever go above my fat. I always strive to hit my protein, and I always strive to stay within my carb goal. And then naturally, the calories usually just fall into place with that. So, but you can go, I'm going to pretend, I'm actually going to put one of my options here. I'm not actually going to have this, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to log if you have something all the time, you can create recipes and then it logs it all at once. So that's a really cool feature. So I'm going to give you a quick peek how it's worked. So you're going to go to add food, and then up at the top, you have my foods. So if you have something all the time and you have the same amount every time, we can just slap that bad boy. Like this recipe and these macros down here is 3 eggs, 1 slice of cheese, a half a tablespoon of Kerrygold butter, and 3 slices of Canadian bacon. So you add that one recipe and it has it all done for you. Or you can go individually. I'll show you in lunch so you can see. But you add foods. I'm going to add, here's my eggs. So I had 3 eggs. Add to today. I had butter, half a tablespoon of butter. And you just adjust those for what you had. And then the serving size is usually the default, by the way. That's why I'm not like messing with it. I typically have the serving size. Sometimes I'll add more, but for the most part, I start with the serving size and then adjust it. So then that's why it's kind of going pretty quick. 1 slice of cheese is the serving size. So there you have it individually. You can see my numbers match. So if it's easier for you and a time saver, create your little recipe so that you don't have to do the individual thing. And then just pick which one is easier for you and stay consistent. So I don't normally have breakfast, so I'm going to wipe this one off. And now let's log dinner. So because I look at my macros, and so far today, here's the pie chart, I've only had 2 of my 18 net carbs. I've had 27 grams of fiber, and I need a lot more protein and some more fat. So with that being said, I know because I didn't have a heavy cheese or a heavy fat breakfast that I can go a little bit more adventurous at dinner. So tonight's a good night to have like a piece of steak. So let's pretend that we're making steak. So I'm going to go in here And let's have a hamburger. Let's call that, it's just easier. So we're going to do ground beef. And you can see all the percentages and stuff like that. You can scan your actual package. I like to have the Kirkland, I think it's grass-fed. Hold on. I usually have the package, so. And I like to do 80-20. Let me see if I can find 80-20 from Kirkland. No, I should have had the package already planned out. Sorry, but this is basically what I do, though. Let's just do ground beef 80-20 to make it easy. So I'll just do ground beef 80, and then I'll see what choices are. I sometimes will recognize a brand, and I'll go with it. Like Aldi, there's the patties, 80-20. And that's our, oh, here it is. Trader Joe's is one I use as well. So let's just go with the Trader Joe's one. So I had one patty, and because this is already pre-portioned and already done, I will just hit add today. But if this was ground beef and I made into a patty, I would just put like 4-ounce burger or, you know, whatever size burger it was. So I add it to today. So now I look at my macros, see what it did. And now I'm at 50 grams of fat, 50 grams of protein. So that means I need to add more, I need to add my sides. So tonight would be a good night because I'm very low on fat. Let's do roasted broccoli. So you're going to want to log your vegetables raw. And that's, you want to log all of your food raw if you can. If you go to a restaurant and it's cooked, sometimes they'll have it pre-done or you can estimate, but logging it raw is going to give you the most accurate numbers. And sometimes when you're this restrictive, it does matter. So keep that in mind. So the next thing I'm going to do broccoli. Yeah, see, mine's already coming up and it's raw. So click the broccoli, and 1 cup. I typically have about 200 grams. I love broccoli. So I change that to grams because I measure it, and then it's going to adjust the macros. So 200 grams of broccoli. And yeah, I know that sounds a lot, but I love me some broccoli. So now we can look and see what it did. Now at this point, you can look at your fat, your protein. I'm still way under in fat, so I am going to have my broccoli steamed with garlic, salt, and pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and add, and butter, obviously butter. I'm going to find my Kirkland, I'm sorry, not Kerrygold, there's the word. So I'm going to do a tablespoon, wipe out that because that's a tablespoon and a half. So make sure you have the right measurement in and look at both of these fields. So I'm going to have a tablespoon of butter. And then again, you can come back and look, what did that do? So now we're at 61 grams of fat, 56 grams of protein. Now, the main thing is the protein here, that's 1 patty. It's a 1/4 pound burger. If I was to make this individually, let me get rid of that one. And I don't normally have a 1/4 pound burger. So let me go get a proper, just the actual ground beef. There it is, ground beef. So that would be a 3-ounce. Now remember, this is raw. So I'm going to do a 5-ounce raw and add to today. Now you can see my protein's better, my fat's better, and that's a more accurate sized burger. I typically always have like a 5 or 6-ounce burger, but I do make sure when I'm looking at this, keep that all in mind. So right now I still need, I typically don't log salt, pepper, and spices. If you're very, 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 very strict, you're going to want to log your spices, but I don't take that time because I just typically factor in a cushion ahead of time. So, and then I'm taking collagen for my hair and my nails. So we're going to go ahead and add that and see if I can, here's the grass-fed unflavored collagen. 1 scoop. I had it with my coffee. I don't log coffee either because it's a clear liquid and I don't put anything in it. However, if you do put something in it, you like cream, you need to log the cream or the sugar. You got to log every single thing. So now you look at your day and it's 10 of 18 net carbs. Well, I still got plenty of carbs. I'm still way under in my fat, and I've hit my protein, which is a goal of mine. But I'm still really under in calories. So I'm like, okay, well, I should have cucumbers. Snack on some cucumbers. So I'm going to just find a cucumber, raw with peel, do whatever you do. I like to have mine without the peel. So I'm gonna do that. And then I would weigh how much cucumbers. So I would probably change this to grams and weigh it out. I find it's the most accurate measurement. So let's just, for instance, let's see what 100 grams of cucumber does to my macros. Now you can see up here, it didn't really mess too much with my carbs. It didn't really mess with anything. And it was pretty much almost like a freebie. And I usually salt my cucumbers by the way. So, and then another snack I normally have is roasted pecans. So I make my own. So roasted pecans, and I like them oil roasted and salted. So I make mine with butter, but this is the one I use. And there's the serving size is normally a quarter cup or 30 grams or 1 ounce. So I'm just going to stick with the quarter cup. And then look what it did to my macros. So now I am pretty good. I aim for to be around 1,200 to 1,300 calories. So I'm at 1192. I'm 8 off for my goal. That's fine. If I was exercising, I would make sure I added a little bit more. But you can see I'm way under in carbs. Oh, I forgot to add mustard for my burger, mustard and pickles. So let's add a teaspoon. No, I like a lot of mustard, so I'm going to put a tablespoon. I had a tablespoon of mustard on my burger, and I also had dill pickles. And you can find the exact which one you did. I like the, let's see, what's it called? Well, just to make this quicker, we're gonna pick this one. Oh, and then one other thing before I select that, you can see reviews too. So if you're new to the lifestyle and you haven't ever had a pickle spear, if there's good reviews, look for that one in your store. If there's only a 1-star, don't do it. Like use the power of the internet and the rating system. And if you really like the recipe, you can also rate it. So I had 1 pickle. And now we can look at my macros for the day. I'm like, this is like a picture perfect day. So that's it for today. And then let's go to tomorrow. So now we're going to, for breakfast, I fast. So I just have coffee. So we're going to start with lunch again. And remind you, just play with this and see what happens. So today we're going to pick a completely different approach. And then this way I can show you how we put the day together. This way you're getting variety, and if you're like me who likes stuff over and over again because it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's just easier to copy meals day to day. So another meal that I do for lunch would be just 3 fried eggs. I typically always have 3 eggs at a time for lunch. So no, actually, let's make a cream cheese bagel. So I have a bagel recipe in here. I believe I've logged it. Yes. So you can search this actually in your list and it'll come right up. So all the macros have been calculated for you. And this is for 1 bagel. So we're going to add it. And then we're also going to add cream cheese because I want my bagel with cream cheese. So I'm going to toast my bagel. I'm going to cut it in half, toast it in an air fryer or a toaster if you don't have an air fryer. And I'm then going to just spread some Philadelphia cream cheese on it. So the serving size is 2 tablespoons. That sounds great. Basically a tablespoon for each half. And you can mess with that. If also when we plan this whole thing up, if you have room left in your macros and you want 3 tablespoons, this is when you can know. So when you actually go to put it on your bagel, you can know I can have 3 tablespoons of cream cheese because it fits in my day. But you won't know if you're not logging. So breakfast is done. Let's add dinner. So now we look at the macros and we see I've got lots of room in here. So let's have something like, we had a hamburger yesterday, so let's do butter chicken for dinner tonight. Now, this is something that's really cool. If you have found a recipe online that has nutrition facts already, basically all the main sites are going to have this feature. You can actually import a recipe in here and it will add it all in for you. So for one thing, I love Keto Connects. That's the name of the person who makes it. I do butter chicken and I put Keto Connect and it should come right up. See, butter chicken Keto Connect. There's even ones with reviews with the website. So we're going to do the one that has the website. I'm sure they're all pretty much the same. I've had this before, so I usually do 1.5 servings. And we're going to add it in. Now look at how awesome this is. It just logged a big hunk of our macros. So I typically, when I make keto butter chicken, everything's been logged and done for you. And that is super cool. So if you find a website, you can search it and it'll come up more than likely, or you can use what's called a recipe importer and you can import it on its own. So then now everybody, just like you're able to use Keto Connect, someone imported that, someone will be able to use yours. So that's a really cool feature. So we're going to add in my riced cauliflower because I like that on the side. And I always use the Trader Joe's riced cauliflower. The serving size is 1 cup. I'll go ahead and just have the serving size. And then I also like to have roasted broccoli on the side. So again, we look at the macros. It appears I'm going to need to come up with some more protein. Let me log my supplement. Now this part, I'm not positive if it actually factors into your real protein count, but I have been logging that way. So I am still researching that and I am undecided if that does actually count as protein in your normal day. So let's add in our broccoli, because when I buy broccoli, I usually buy enough and have it for 2 days. So I have it right here in my list. I do 200 grams normally. And then I also like to roast it in olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil, and it's the Kirkland brand. There it is. And that was 2 tablespoons, so I'm going to move it. It says milliliters, but that's pretty much a tablespoon. But we'll change it just to be sure. I do, because I like my broccoli kind of like nice and oiled up. I usually do about 3 tablespoons for that serving. So that is a good fat. That's much better than having like 2 hamburgers. But now you can see, oh no, it's getting up there on fat. So I am pretty much at my fat limit, which is fine, but I still need some more protein and I'm over my carbs. So that means, oh no, I should take away the broccoli and I can address the serving size of it. So now let's bump it down to 150 grams. And this is a huge part of, see, I'm still over. Our goal is 20. So I can back that down more and either completely take that off and put something else that's easier in. So let's do that. When you do something like this, this is why the planning part is so important. You will be able to come up with your own, your foods that will make this up, and you'll be like so much better off when you can plan ahead. So instead of doing it that way, let's have a side. Looking for my, hold on. So my options normally for sides, like roasted asparagus, which would be really good. And that'll be a lot less carbs because it's lower in carbs than broccoli. So 1 cup I typically do, I measure this when it's raw, mind you. And I like to use the Trader Joe's because it's already like cut up. But where's my grams? There's my grams. So we're going to do 100 grams, which it cooks down a lot. So that sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So now we swapped the broccoli for asparagus, and we're still perfect when it comes to carbs. So now our day is going to be much better aligned with our goals. So I need way less fat. So I backed the olive oil down as well, because you don't need as much olive oil to roast asparagus. So now we look at the macros and we're like, okay, perfect on carbs, and I'm fine with the lower fat. And actually what I would normally do in this case, if this is 1.5 cups, I would go ahead and maybe just call this 2 servings. And then I'll see what it does. I'm like, uh-oh, now I'm over. So I back it down and I readjust the serving size again. So this is stuff, when you know this all ahead of time, it's going to seriously make your life so much easier. Let's do 1 3/4 and see what that does. See, now I'm okay with it being 1 carb over. The goal still is under 20. I know my fat's good, my protein's a little low for the day, but I've got plenty of calories. And I typically, when I make their butter chicken, I add a little extra chicken in my actual recipe. So that's why I don't get too like paranoid. And that would be pretty much it for oh, and I put my snack in. I've been just snacking like crazy on where's cucumbers, salted cucumbers, so yummy. So I added my cucumbers in, and I'm a little over on the carbs, so that also lets me know, okay, make sure I only have 2 tablespoons of cream cheese, no more. And I can, let's see, I'm going to leave this at 1.5 cups, or 1.5 servings, I should call it. Here's the half. I'm blind. So there we are. I typically will have those, so I'm going to leave that there. Okay, so we've had my coffee, and lunch I'm going to have eggs, basically my omelet, and for dinner, okay, so this is when you go find a recipe and import it. I'm not positive, but I think Simply Stacy is already logged in here, but this is a recipe that is really, really, really yummy. So basically what you're going to do is copy the URL of this recipe when you import it. But first I'm going to search and see if it's already in there, because obviously you don't want like 30 of them. So I'm going to put low carb chicken divan. Is that how you say it? Oh, and then there it is. So it's already in here. Somebody else has already imported it. But if it wasn't, I'm going to have 1 serving, by the way. You would be able to easily add it. So let's see what that did to my, oh, and then I also, because that has broccoli, that has cream cheese, it has all kinds of stuff already in it. I am pretty much done for the day. So there's the 17th. And you're going to continue this all up. I'm not going to drag it on to make this video really long, but say I had everything, maybe I just wanted those 3 days, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Down here, you hit the print button, and there it is. Everything we just logged, and you can print this out, and then you can print your shopping list, and there is literally your meal plan. And it shows you how much of each one, the measurements, and that is like gold, freaking gold. And then you're also, keep in mind, that helps you plan. It helps you coordinate foods that go together to stay within your calorie or your macro goals. And this way you know up ahead of time what to do. It's the plan, and you have to follow it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. If you have questions, I will gladly check back and answer them. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more details on how to like import recipes and stuff like that, let me know, and I'll be glad to keep elaborating on this Carb Manager tutorial series. So I hope you have a great day. Bye. I'm Jess, and you're watching Keto Rewind.